All right, so this is to design your own pair of Nikes. I think they're Nike Airs that I have pulled up on mine. So first thing you're gonna do is make a new document. So you can come up to File, New. Um, if you have the option of orientation on here, so portrait is what we were working with before, 8.5 by 11 inches. You can change it to landscape orientations. Then you have 11 by 8.5. That is what we want. We want 11 by 8.5 with 100 resolution. We might print these out depending on how cool they are. So do a good job. We'll print them out hopefully. Click create or OK. And then you'll see a blank white document. So what I had in the instructions was for you to save those Nike images from Echo onto the desktop because all you have to do, you might have to minimize yours, but I knew that I had mine right over here, so I can just move it so I can see it, drag it and drop it right into Photoshop, which is a very convenient function. So right now, this is what is called a smart object. I'm going to click the check mark to get rid of those. Don't mess with any of the sizes or proportions right now. I'm going to convert this to just a regular image, so then that's all we see. You just have to double click on that little icon that shows up on the layer. I like to see everything. I want to see everything, and I want to see it as big as I can. So I go to the zoom tool, and then I click fit screen. So everything is on there. There's nothing on the sides that I'm missing, but it's as big as I can possibly make it and still see everything. Not necessary, but I highly recommend it. So first tool, new tool probably for some of you. It will quickly become one of your favorite tools. It is the Magic Wand tool. It may be behind the Quick Selection tool. So grab that tool. The way that it works is you click in a section and it will choose any closed section that you click in. So you can see my marching ants. It's just like black and white little lines that look like a dotted line that looks like it moves. Hence the marching ants term. So what I can do now is this is my selection. So I'm telling Photoshop that this is the only area I'm going to give you a command for. So I can come down to the paint bucket. It may be behind the gradient tool. I'm going to show you both of those, but for right now, paint bucket. I'm going to change my foreground color. I want to do it like a teal. Kind of want it brighter than that. I don't know. That looks good. So click with the paint bucket inside of it and it fills it with the color. Easy as that. So Control D deselects, gets rid of those marching ants so you can move on to another area. So get the Magic Wand tool again. So I want to do this area. I want to treat it as one area. So I'm going to click up here and then I'm going to hold the Shift key and click down here. Holding the Shift key allows you to make multiple selections. So I just showed you how to use the paint bucket. So behind the paint bucket is the gradient tool. So the way that the gradient tool works is up here, you have all of these options. There's all of these preset rainbow, all sorts of color combinations. If you only see a few, if you click on this little guy here, down here you can do color harmonies, append, and I obviously already added those in, so I just added them twice. You can click any of these and you'll see kind of up here a little preview of what it's going to look like. Feel free to experiment, but what I like to do, I kind of like to choose my own colors. So I already have this one selected. You can choose your own by making this a color and then making, this is the foreground, making the background a color. So maybe I wanted to do like a really dark blue. So a teal that fades, or a teal that blends into a dark blue. So now, since I have those two selected, this first one will be my two colors. So I'm going to select that one. And then if I take this little cursor and I go from top to bottom, it can go diagonal, horizontal, vertical. It'll fade from one color to the other. So Control Alt Z, say I didn't like it, or if maybe I wanted it to go a different way, if I wanted it to go from here to here, you'll just get slightly different results. You can experiment with how you want your gradient to look. So I'm happy with that. Control D, deselects, gets rid of those marching ants. So again, magic wand tool, say I wanted to I just wanted to boom, boom, boom all the shoelaces, the same color. Click, hold shift, click, 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 all the way up. So then I can just run through with, I don't know, say, oh, oops, I almost made a mistake. I was changing the background color. The paint bucket will only fill the foreground color. So if I wanted it to be magenta, I need to change this foreground color. So now with right click behind the gradient tool, paint bucket, and I can just fill all of those. Just click all the way up. Control D gets rid of the selection. So that's what I have so far. If you're feeling comfortable and confident and you want to try out something a little more advanced, I'll show you another kind of cool thing you can do. You could go search for a photo, an image of something that you would like to see on a shoe. I have this image of outer space already up there. I'm sure it's been done before, but I think it would be cool. So I have an idea. I have a section that I want to do this in. So I'm kind of stretching it out. Click the check mark. So you can see I probably didn't pick the best image. It's very pixelated. So we'll work with it for right now. So just like when we were making those sandwiches to illustrate what layers do, what they can do, this is a function of the layer. So what I did was I clicked that lock to unlock this layer. And I'm going to move the shoe on top of the outer space. Oops. You just need to click and drag it. So you've just switched the layers around. So if I were to delete part of this, then the layer that's underneath of it will shine through or come through. So I could use the eraser tool, but I'm gonna just use the magic wand tool because I was thinking like this section might be cool to be the outer space. So that's whole section is selected. All I have to do is hit delete. Because I unlocked it, I can delete it. So Control D gets rid of the marching ants. You can see my outer space. If say I wanted to add it in here, I could take the eraser tool. Remember the brackets next to the letter P. We'll make it bigger or smaller. And then if I would erase into this, even more of that image would shine through because it's just one layer sitting on top of another layer. And when you erase the top layer, the other one shines through. So I don't want to show you guys too much so you can kind of experiment and find some cool things on your own. But this gives you a good start. So play, have fun, make some cool shoes that you'd like to wear, and hopefully we get some cool results.